Welcome to Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. I'm Steve Swat with the Sacramento Report. In the next few minutes, we're going to talk about closing the gender gap when it comes to participating in the political process. My guest this segment is Deborah Ortiz, former member of the State Assembly and the State Senate and the Sacramento City Council. Now you're on the steering committee of an organization called Close the Gap California, and it's all about trying to recruit women and women of color to run for public office, right?
Indeed, and the focus is very narrow. It's the state legislature. It's 2014 and 2016, really to address the absence of women's presence in the California state legislature.
That's interesting because there were more women in the legislature 10 years ago than there are now.
In fact, that's correct, and it's really a drastic drop in women in the legislature. And I think the institution reflects that in terms of its policies, perhaps its culture. You know, we have a very strong belief that women really are going to bring, add value to the institution in a way that men don't always bring to an institution.
And not to stereotype, but from my experience covering the state capitol, I've always found that women generally tend to seek consensus, negotiate, compromise more than men do.
I think there is a different style, and I think women, you know, when you're in politics, you understand the rules of engagement, but they indeed are more participatory, focus on issues that, work through policy and less conflict, and really quite frankly, often more transparency in the process.
So why are women not running for office as much?
The data shows that less women are indeed running. As you know, the reduction of women from just in 10 years is pretty drastic, but it's a microcosm in some respects of what's happening in the world. There's not a lot of respect for the institution. How many women have incentive to run? It requires raising money. Women are usually not the fundraisers that men are. And women often have to make decisions, economic decisions, particularly women of color, financial compromises at the prime of their life when they're earning. And all of those factors, unfortunately, are resulting in less women, and particularly less women of color.
So what is Close the Gap California doing?
So Close the Gap California really has started and was focused on this election cycle in 2014 to try to quickly identify vacant seats, identify women, encourage them to run, connect them with other women's organizations to help with that training and all of the resources, really because now that we have longer term limits, it really was a way for women to get in and stay in the institution for a longer period of time now that term limits have been extended. So it's this election cycle, and 2016 is the next election cycle. We don't endorse, we don't give money, but we encourage and we create infrastructure and relationships to support them in that process.
Your website does say that you want talented, progressive women.
Indeed. There are principles that we stand for. We are multi-partisan, nonpartisan, but we do really feel that it's important to support the safety net that has been eviscerated in California, the Health and Human Services safety net, because women are very poor. If you look at the statistics of income gap inequality, women and children have become the profound population of poverty, and we think the safety net is essential to a good society. Also, pro-choice, reproductive health is a core issue for the organization, and supportive public education.
Only a couple of seconds left. I just want to reiterate a point. If you find someone watching is interested in running, you will hook them up with various support groups to teach them leadership skills, media training, all that, how to run a campaign.
Absolutely. We want to be able to identify viable women for the legislature.
All right. Deborah Ortiz, thank you very much for coming by and talking about Close the Gap California. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks to our viewers for watching Local Edition on Time Warner Cable. A reminder, you can see this and other interviews on YouTube, also on My Government On Demand. I'm Steve Swat. Have a great day.